Okay. Alright. This should work. Alright. Hi. So this is my first video, actually, I've ever made. So hopefully this will work. I didn't feel like posting an actual blog today, so I'm making a video blog. Because I get to use my brother's awesome laptop. It's a Mac, and I really love Macs. Anyways, I wanted to give you an update on what I learned in Sunday school today. I went with my sister to her church because I'm in Augusta, and when we went to Sunday school. The sermon was great, but I really wanted to tell you about Sunday school right now, and then I'll do another vlog about the sermon later on. When we went to Sunday school, we learned about Mark 8, 1 through 30, and spiritual blindness. And we learned 3 things about spiritual blindness. We learned what it looks like, why we have it, and how to cure it. And so what it looks like. We talked about 2 ways what it could look like, and one of them we see in the apostles in this chapter because of their doubt and their anxiety and their lack of understanding that we see that they have. And it's shown in the way that after Christ had done these 2 incredibly great miracles, he had fed the 5,000 Jews one day when they came to hear him and learn about him. And then another time he fed 4,000 Gentiles, which I just thought was really cool. How he did both Jews and Gentiles. And how he fed the 4,000, and then the disciples, they get on a boat, and they're probably, I'm estimating at the most 100 people. I could be too little, too much, too many. But the disciples go, we've got 1 loaf of bread, Wonder Bread maybe. What are we going to do? And Christ, who's there with them, he goes, did you forget? Do you have eyes but you do not see? You have ears but you don't hear? Has Satan deceived you this much? Why are you doubting? I mean, I who fed 5,000 and 4,000, do you not think that I will help you? It's incredible what doubt can do to a person. And the second way we see it is the Pharisees' demand for more. We see the Pharisees come up to Christ and they go, just show us another sign. I mean, it's not like we don't have plenty of signs, obviously from Christ. Raising the dead, healing the lame, curing the blind and the maimed. No, we really just, we need a real sign, a proof. It's just, also, in Christ's side, have you ever thought about, when you get to heaven, and you ask Christ a question, and Christ goes, how horrible would that feeling be? I mean, think about how horrible would you feel? I know I'd feel horrible if Christ, I go, that was a dumb question. Sorry about that. Yeah, dumb question. Yeah, so Christ's side, he's not going to give the Pharisees another sign. The reason the Pharisees keep asking for more signs is not because they're going to they really just need one more sign to believe, but it's not wanting to submit to him. So it's just another test. It's just another endless test that they're going to do until he finally slips up, Why do we have spiritual blindness? Well, it's because our heart isn't remembering, and because our heart is prone to look side to side. I thought this was really great, how he brought up how we seem to have a spiritual goldfish memory. Now, goldfish have a memory for about 3 seconds. And, he brought up how you see the goldfish in the tank, and they swim to this side, and they're like, ooh, look, new stuff. So they swim to this side, and they're like, oh, look, new stuff. Swim to this side. So it's the whole swimming thing. Yeah, me and my goldfish. So we seem to have a spiritual goldfish memory. because we also tend to compartmentalize because sin is deceitful. We learn that in Hebrews 3:12 through 13. We go, all right, so God worked a miracle in my work life, and He worked a miracle in my spiritual life, and He worked a miracle in my private life, but those miracles, they're just in their own little section. They can't, that same miracle can't spread throughout the entirety. So, we can't compartmentalize God's miracles. We can't compartmentalize God's work in our life. Just because He works in our spiritual life, we as humans tend to make lists and stuff. Just because He tends to make a project of working, let's say He works, for me, He works on my patients continually. Right now, because I'm with my nieces, and however much I love them, they're kids. And kids aren't perfect. Neither are we, but so for me, He's working on my patience on becoming more precious and sweeter to them as they grow in God's grace. But that same work of patience He does, when I go home, I have to make sure I continue that patience that He's done in my life to other areas. Alright, so it's probably getting off subject, so I'll just go on. So, then he talks about how if we think we know ourselves well, if we think we're like, I really know what a sinner I am. It's so obvious. Well, it's obvious, but maybe not to you, because even if we really think we know ourselves, we really haven't plummeted the depths of our own sinful nature. And we won't know the extent of them until we're perfected and Christ opens our eyes, because we are like the blind man in Mark 8, where Christ healed the blind man twice, in 2 stages. He healed him first with just touching his eyes, spitting on his eyes and then touching them. And he said, "What can you see?" The blind man said, "I see people, but they look like trees." And then he touched his eyes again, and the blind man said, "I see people now. I know what they look like." So even if we can see as Christians, we don't understand. And without understanding, what use is being able to see? So, spiritual blindness is cured progressively. That's kind of what I was getting to. It's not just a automatic, we're Christians, wow, I can see everything, that's so cool. It is, and we can see so much more, but we can't see everything yet. So, it's not enough to see until you can understand. And I think, yeah. And then, also, I'm just going to give you another thing to look up. It's Matthew 16, 13 through 16. That's also another verse we can read. Alright, well, that's all I have time to do for today. So, it's 8 minutes and 45 seconds long, sorry. But I hope you have a great rest of the Lord's Day. And I will try to do 2 more video blogs, one with my nieces, and another about some other incredible things that have happened to me this week while I've been in Augusta. Alright, talk to you later. God bless.